Hello everyone, it's Yvonne back to do your bonus read. Only operating on one coffee this morning. It's very, very early. I got a very early start. Last few mornings I've been waking at 3 o'clock. So by 4 o'clock I'm sort of starting to get a bit fidgety and want to get up. So I try to sit in bed for a little while and do what I need to do. Maybe watch a couple of YouTube clips. Sometimes I meditate. Sometimes I just do some research, but I try to use at least the first hour rather than getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning. But last night I fell asleep. I reckon I fell asleep by about 8 o'clock because of 3 o'clock the day before. So I have to now push myself to stay awake tonight to get back into some sort of routine. Sleep is such a funny thing. I have just been sort of thinking a little bit about the What's Cracking reading this morning and the need for people to have control. And this has been a very big thing for me lately, trying to understand why people need so much control over others in their life. It's an insecurity thing, obviously. But when somebody sort of always thinks they're right about something and that you're wrong, and that doesn't necessarily mean that they're saying to you that you're wrong, but they may be giving you signs. The thing is, if you're not recognizing it, sometimes it can go a little bit under the radar, but then you realize. And this is why I always teach people when I'm coaching to be the observer. Like, try and look at your life like you're on the outside of it rather than on the inside, because if you're on the inside, you're forgiving, you're kind, you're generous, and you don't see it quite so well. But some people have really strong insecurities and they tend to impart those onto you. So for example, if somebody's insecure about something, they may include you in their insecurities. But you need to recognize those things, and that's part of our learning while we're here on the planet, is to not so much call people out on it, but to understand we may be doing some of the same things ourselves. It's not about calling others out. It's their journey. They've got to learn what they are doing that may not be healthy. But for you, you have to see when things happen, even if you don't feel that you have a responsibility or somebody's done something that is horrible to you, there is this lesson to learn around what was my part there. Do I have a part? And if I do, what do I need to know so that I do not do that in the future? If you feel you are perfect and you don't make mistakes, then I can't ask you to take the lessons on. If you feel like it's always the other person's responsibility to look after themselves, you still have the responsibility to really look at what you're doing. And that is part of the learning. That is part of our self-evolving into a better version. All right, enough blurbing. I'm going to go into the Tarot Moocher. And we'll do a bonus read. All right, let's see what's going on here. Oh, wow, I've seen this card. It flipped out on me 2 or 3 times while I was doing the shuffling, and I was like, it's such a beautiful card. It's one of my favorite Fool cards. If I could develop a deck where I took one card out of every deck, the card that I loved in every deck, then I would be a very happy little chappy, because she would be my favorite Fool. And that sounds a bit sort of weird, doesn't it? My favorite Fool. The Fool card is a card that talks of taking a leap of faith. It's the beginning of the cycle in the tarot, in the major arcana of the tarot journey, which ends up, of course, in the world, which is the culminating of all your lessons. She is the start. We start the tarot cycle in a way that we clear what we've done before. We start it in a very fresh way. This is why we are seen as the Fool, because we wipe away everything that we've got there and we just take something on with fresh eyes. That doesn't mean you don't take your lessons with you. You do. But what you do is you give everything a fresh start. It's a bit like dropping your baggage at the world and moving into a new cycle. So the Fool card can be seen as a little foolish because, you know, the Fool is about taking that leap of faith, knowing you're starting again, knowing that you're doing something a very different way this time, but really doing it again with no judgment, with no control, just being able to say, this is it, I get an opportunity to do something again. If you're going into a new relationship, this is the way you should start a new relationship. You erase everything before. Does that mean you don't take your lessons? No, you do take your lessons with you, but you still give everybody this clean slate, this fresh start. All right, so there's some sort of decision to be made here. Now, the Two of Pentacles is always, for me, the decision of heart over head, trying to find some balance between two equally even opportunities. Now, in the Two of Pentacles, we see the seas behind this person really quite rough. And she's trying then to turn her back on her emotions and make a very logical decision. She doesn't want to use her emotion here. Somehow or another, she sees the ships coming in. There's something that she's got to make a decision on, because she can see something's coming for her. And she knows she needs to be ready. But in order to be ready, she has to somehow find this balance between the logic and the emotional. And so she's taking the emotion out of the equation to be able to look at it just for the problem or issue that it is. Okay, something's changing very, very quickly here. There's movement with the Eight of Wands. Some sort of communication. Somebody's communicating with you here. They want a new start. They want a new start. You've got communication from somebody who wants to start something new here. But I feel like with this Two of Pentacles, you're trying to understand, is this worth investing in? Is it something I want to take a chance on? Because if I take a chance on this, I've got to wipe the slate clean and start again. And am I prepared to do that? Am I prepared to wipe the slate clean and give this person another opportunity? Because this offer here looks very good. But maybe I've had experiences before. Maybe I've closed out something before. Maybe I'm not sure here what's in this cup. It's very Seven of Cups energy here. What is in the cup? Am I getting what I want? Because look, I've been through this before and I've not got what I want. So now I'm trying to make a choice. Is this logically the best thing for me? If I put all my emotions aside, if I just take this for what it is it worth me taking a leap of faith for? But with that leap of faith there, I'd say you're going to go for it. Someone's coming in with the truth. Somebody is coming in with some sort of explanation, quite possibly here, Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo here. Somebody who's coming up here is a page though. So you've got a little bit of an immature energy coming through. This person wants commitment with you here. But I feel like they may be not so much immature, they may be younger than you, but there's this very tentative energy with this page. Now there's something karmic happening here. Some sort of energy of starting something new, but from a very different perspective. There's a truth coming through. This person wants to offer you something here, but they're going to be very direct, very open. You're the one that's being a bit reluctant as to whether you want this new start or not. So definitely some sort of, now it may not be the same person for you. It may be somebody new. But if you've had experience with somebody before, where there's been a certain way of doing something, maybe you are looking for the truth this time in the sword. If you've been hurt in prior relationships, if things haven't gone quite so well, maybe this time you're looking for that sword, you're looking for that truth. Is this somebody I can trust this time? Is this somebody I can trust with myself, not to do the wrong thing by me? But you want to be able to wipe the slate clean. So there's very much this energy of sorting through your own mind and your own feelings to understand, can you wipe the slate clean to try again? All right, let's have a look at what's going on. I love this, the Magician coming through. So the Magician is a card that talks about someone who's manifesting. He's the master manifester. And he actually comes right after the Fool. So it's like, okay, so we're going in with a clean slate and we're going to bring in what we want here. And I feel like that's what some of you are doing. Some of you are closing out some sort of cycle in the past, letting go of some sort of energy that you've been carrying, and now you're manifesting what you want. And he has the sword, the pentacle, the cup, and the wand on his table, which means he has all of the elements at his disposal here. And he's bringing something in that he wants, but this time he's using all of the tools to do that. Now, what that says to me is that you are going to manifest now something you want because you have all the tools available to you. So maybe before you closed out this cycle, you were doing things in a different way, and now you have learned how to use all your tools in the way that's best for you. You've learned something here. Wow, beautiful. We have the King of Swords coming through with the Sun card. I'm loving the Sun card today. And the Nine of Wands. So we have repeat cards from the What's Cracking reading. The Emperor. Well, the Emperor's not even here, so I don't know why I'm seeing the Emperor. The Magician here is very different energy to the What's Cracking reading. Because in the What's Cracking reading, he had definitely this energy. But in this one, I feel like it's almost like the universe is saying to you here that you know what's been happening in the past. You can see it for yourself now. You're doing things in a very different way because you have the tools to do that now. So you've learned some sort of lesson that's given you the tools. There is a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius person here coming forward. This time this person is truth. They're going to be very true to what they say. You're seeing this person in their true form. And I feel like you've been seeing people in some sort of other energy prior to this. This time you're seeing a truth in this person. There is strong Leo coming through here again. So you could be dealing with a Leo. But this is like having this awakening, this enlightenment, seeing things for the first time. The sun shining. You know how I always talk about walking along the beach with the sun beating down on your back and how vulnerable you feel to that beautiful sun in the morning. This is like waking up to that sunny day. It's like finally being aware. This is like getting an opportunity to start again. This here is like rebirth. You're putting something behind you here with this Nine of Wands. And I feel like because of this Nine of Wands, you're understanding how to use your tools in a very different way. All right, so we have the Nine of Swords coming through. All repeat cards, Seven of Pentacles. This is exactly why I use another deck. Look, Page of Swords. This is all exactly the same cards. I think I have one different card here, and that is this King of Swords. I'm going to put some more cards out. Five of Wands came in on the What's Cracking too. Almost exactly the same read. Look at that, Four of Pentacles. Okay, and then we have the Ten of Wands. I'm loving this though, because now the Five of Wands is back here, which came out at the front of the What's Cracking reading. Now we're closing out this cycle. We just need the one wand to come from here to here. Ace of Wands would be beautiful. That will take us to the next stage where we can start to manifest. So what I see here is some sort of anxiety over something you've done a certain way in the past. But with that Four of Pentacles, I know that you're putting that down now. You're understanding that. I see that with the Magician here. There's very much this energy of understanding how to do things differently in the future. Absolutely. There is somebody here who is coming forward. Somebody that here holds a sword of truth. They stand in their own power. They are true to who they are. You're not dealing with someone who's coming in with a mask on. And I feel with this Nine of Wands, perhaps that's what you've been doing in the past. You've been dealing with people who perhaps come in with the mask on, pretending to be what they're not, and then you're seeing their truth. And their truth may not be nice, because in the What's Cracking reading, you were getting that in reverse. All right, let me read, because I want to put some more cards on it. You're being given an opportunity to do things again, but to do them in a very different way this time. There is some sort of decision to be made here as to whether you move forward again. Maybe you're still feeling a little bit sort of unsure of what you're moving into. I feel like you're being given a truth next time around. There is communication coming in here, and somebody is offering you this cup. But this time round, you're seeing things for what they are. You have the clarity. You can see them this time. And I feel like whoever this person is wants a new start with you. But I feel like this person is being very, very tentative about how they move forward. This person may want long-term commitment. You're dealing with someone who's done their own inner work here, and there is abundance here with this Ten of Pentacles. Somebody has done all their own work. You're dealing with someone who's on a very similar path to you, who's understood and knows how to manifest what they want differently this time, using the tools from which they have learned their lessons. Okay, we are finishing a cycle out at the end of this reading. You've had some sort of enlightenment. Something shone a light on something for you here. You've seen it differently. You've seen it for what it is. Okay, let's just have a closer look. All right, so we have the Six of Pentacles. This is very much about you understanding what needs to come into a relationship, what needs to be equal. If you've got somebody who's very controlling, then the relationship is not equal. Just remember that. If you've got someone who's very manipulative, the relationship's not equal. And certainly if this person is abusive, cruel, or anything beyond that, this relationship is not equal. So you may be dealing with someone who's not investing their love into something. They may be trying to push things their way, have things their way. And this is very much about understanding that this is a two-way street here. I feel like some of you are taking some time out to really have a look here, because we have the Four of Swords. There is some disappointment here, but there's the promise of a brand new start. I really felt like the Ace of Wands would come out here. You're definitely letting go of some way of doing things, some way of being, some old way of doing things you're letting go of for sure. And I feel like it's that lesson of learning to observe your own behaviors. And your own behaviors may be that you ignore red flags. Your behaviors may not have you trusting in your gut feelings. 17. Cycles of growth, natural law, and divine order. When the sisters of the seasons meet you on your path, they remind you that everything has a natural rhythm that obeys a higher law. Just as the seasons magically pass, be reminded that the nature of birth, growth, harvest, and decay cannot be altered. So if you keep on your path with determination and discernment, allowing for the natural course of events to unfold, success is assured. Divine appropriate timing is guiding your desires into perfect manifest form. This is a very good period to start new things as you're moved out of winter into the beginning of spring. Continue with patience and be aware of the rhythms of opportunities. There will be periods when things slow down and begin anew, move into fruition, and then slow down again in a never-ending natural flow. Be mindful of which sister greets you, for she points directly at the next. Every moment counts. End of a cycle. I'll leave you with that. Thanks.